Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, welcome. My name is Andrea. If you guys are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Today's video is all about 10 reasons why I, Andrea Denise Floyd, am a Christian. So like I said before, today's video is all about the 10 reasons why I'm a Christian, why I believe what I believe, and why I believe that Jesus Christ is Lord and the Son of God, and that he came down and died for our sins to save us from ourselves pretty much, and now has given us an opportunity to have everlasting life with our Father. If you guys have not subscribed yet, be sure you do so before we hop on into this video. It's the little button right down below that says subscribe. It is free and it'll help you stay in contact with me, which is awesome. Also hit the notification bell down below as well. It's right next to the subscribe button. That way you guys are notified immediately whenever I post. So that's that. So all right, so let's go ahead and hop on into the video. Two things to mention before this. I'm filming with natural lighting, so it's gonna change a little bit, but let's just ignore that. Let's act like, you know, it's fine, whatever. And so another thing is I am kind of stuffy, so I may sound a little stuffy. I just said that. I may sound a little bit stuffy because I don't know, I'm just dealing with some whatever, like the crud. One more thing to mention, the other announcement is that all the facts, all the history, all the like the resource that I use for this is my pastor, who's Pastor Robert Morris, and they have a series called How Do I Know? And I will link all of their stuff down below, but I wanted you guys to know that like where my resources came from and cite my sources. So let's get started. Okay, so number one reason that I, Andrea Denise Floyd, am a Christian. Oh, and one other thing that I should mention is that I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to convince you of anything if you're not a Christian right now. What I am trying to do is just to share my story of why I'm a Christian. Really, that's really why I'm here, is to share my story, and then maybe it will impact you, maybe it won't. Besides that, just sharing my reasons why I'm a Christian. Number one is that Christianity answers all 4 basic questions of life. Origin, which is how do we get here? Meaning, which is why am I here? And does my life have a purpose? Morality, which is how do I determine right from wrong? And then number 4 is destiny. What happens when we die? When I say Christianity answers all 4, that also means that other religions and every other religion fails to answer one of those 4 questions. My number one reason, or my number one thing. And if y'all want me to go deeper into that itself, let me know. If y'all want me to go deeper into any of this, let me know. I'm down below in the comments, and I definitely will. Number 2 is that it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a Christian. To say something doesn't exist, you would have to have all knowledge about something. You would have to, well, not about something, you would have to have all knowledge. To say something doesn't exist, it's like saying there was never a woman named Andrea Boyd on the planet. When I'm right here, there are historical documents that I am here and that I will be here and stuff like that, and there's proof to show that there is a lady named Andrea Boyd, and honestly there's a lot of Andrea Boyds I see in the world. So yeah, you would have to be able to say, I have searched every crevice, every hole, every corner, under every table, and I've never, ever experienced that. And you would have pretty much have all knowledge to be able to accurately and truthfully believe and say that. So a quote from Lord Kelvin, which is a well-known scientist, he said, if you study science deep enough and long enough, it will force you to believe in God. He says, the atheistic idea is so nonsensical that I do not see how I can put it into words. Those are not my own words, those are his words. So that's that. But that's number 2 for me. Now number 3 is the Bible. The New Testament alone has over 25,000 ancient manuscripts, and the consistency of the documents confirm its validity. Homer's Iliad only has 643 original copies. The Bible has 25,000. The same Bible that we're reading right now is the same Bible from before, and it will be the same Bible going forward. It has the same truth, it has the same knowledge, the same wisdom, and it all points to one congruent theme, one congruent idea, which is Jesus Christ as the Son of God. The Bible right now, the Bibles that we are reading, are 99.5% accurate. That's huge compared to all of the other forms of like copy and stuff like that. Like all of the other written documents and stuff, they're like 70% still accurate and stuff like that. The Bible is 99.5%, and that 5% is not based on content. That 5% is based on grammatical errors. Number 4 is that the Bible consists of 66 different books written by 40 different writers over a span of 1,500 years. 1,500 years, and those writers, many of them, I should say it like this, only a few of them knew each other. Aside from that, a lot of them had never met. But somehow, the Bible, though it's 66 different books by 40 different people, all point to the same thing. Imagine writing something and it all of a sudden gets put together, and somehow it all has the same thing. And you've never met these people to discuss ideas and stuff like that. What is the likelihood of that really happening? And the simple simple fact that the Bible is congruent with history, is congruent with science, with math. Literally everything can back all the way up to God. Everything, including evolution. So a big thing about evolution is that a lot of people have never actually read the book. Darwin actually disproved himself for 2 to 3 chapters and said, hey, if there isn't evidence or there isn't studies that come forth about the human eye by this date, then I disprove this theory. And he goes on and on and on about disproving the theory of evolution, and it never came to pass. So the thing is, people who believe in evolution most likely have never read the book, because if they did, they would understand that there's no way they could really believe in something that he disproves himself. And there's never been a case in history ever where a bird has mutated and turned in, I guess, whatever, to a tiger. That's never happened. So how was that possible? If that was the case, where did the first bird come from? How is the world, how is planet Earth floating in this galaxy of whatever? How are we all staying up right now in the universe? How is that working? How do we make sure that the Earth is consistently rotating around the sun, and that there's day and night and day and night and day and night? If you think big picture, it all backs up to God. All of it. It has to. There has, even Einstein said there has to be a greater being. There has to be one. Science proves it. Math proves it. History proves it. Number 5 are the prophecies of the Bible. So pretty much, this is written by Pastor Robert Warren. It says 700 years before Jesus' arrival, Isaiah wrote about his virgin birth, and Micah named Bethlehem as a city where he would be born. King David wrote about Jesus' crucifixion 1,000 years before he was nailed to a cross, and 500 years before any historical record had ever recorded the practice of crucifixion. Ever. All of Daniel's prophecies came to pass in history. This was years before it ever happened. So pretty much all the stuff from the Bible is aligned with our history books. Literally aligned with our history book. It's funny how we believe that big events in history have happened, but some people don't believe that certain things have happened that are historically written down. Jesus was on a census. Jesus Christ was here on earth. He was here. That's like saying Andrea Boyd never walked the earth. So it's not about it being if Jesus was here or not, or if Jesus is real. It's about if you believe that he is who he says he is. And if I believe that he is who he says he is. That's really what it comes down to. It's not, if you take the Christian stuff all out of it, if you take the Christian principles all out of it, it's really about, do you believe that he is who he says he is? Because that's like saying, oh, there's never been, like Andrea Boyd never walked this earth. And that's not true, because I'm right here and I'm walking the earth. You see what I'm saying? So Jesus Christ was here. It's just about if he is who he says he is in your heart. He's not this like mystical figure. He was here. He was walking this earth with us for 33 years. He was here. These questions are going to be based on if Jesus is not the Son of God, okay? If Jesus is not the Son of God, how did he arrange to be born in the exact place that was predicted? Mary and Joseph weren't originally in Bethlehem. Whenever Mary was planning to give birth, she was not in Bethlehem. They had to travel to Bethlehem because of a Roman census. So what's the likelihood of that actually happening? Literally. You see what I'm saying? Like what? That's Micah 5:2 if you want to look back at that. If Jesus is not the Son of God, how did he arrange to be born in the exact family that it was predicted to be born in? How did he arrange to be born through a virgin birth? If Jesus is not the Son of God, how did he arrange his own death by crucifixion with 2 others? That's Isaiah 53:12 if you guys want to reference that. So then number 6 is that it would be easy to disprove the Bible, but you can't. That would be the easiest way to disprove Christianity, is that the Bible in some place or the other wouldn't be true. If the Bible referenced a city that was never there or never existed, if the Bible referenced that 2 cities were 200 miles apart and they're really 500 miles apart, that would be inaccurate. That would disprove it, but you can't do it. A thing that Pastor Morris said was Christ came 2,000 years ago and nearly 3,500 years have passed since the first scriptures were ever written. No book has ever been more thoroughly studied. No text has ever been more painstakingly scrutinized, yet it has always been proven true. The mathematical odds are ridiculous that 40 writers could produce 66 books over a span of 1,500 years. 1,500 years that are so congruent and then all point to the same agenda, the same theme, the same person, Jesus Christ as the Son of God. So, like I said, the Bible confirms itself. That's my number 6. Number 7 is that mathematics proves it. What are the odds that Jesus came here and fulfilled all of the prophecies? Every single prophecy. What are the odds just by that? The odds are actually 1 in 100 quadrillion chance, which is 10 to the 17th power. Number 8 is that science proves it. Lord Kelvin, a well-known scientist, like I read to you guys before. If you study science deep enough and long enough, it will force you to believe in God. The atheistic idea is so nonsensical that I do not see how I can put it into words. Number 9 is because of the death, burial, and resurrection. That alone could be enough for this one video. The death, burial, and resurrection. There's never been another instance in history that has been more impactful, more studied, more looked into, and more powerful than the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. There was 500 eyewitnesses that saw Jesus after he was buried, after 3 days. And when you look back at the Bible and at history, people were willing to die for this cause, for Christianity. People were willing to die because of what they saw and what they testified about. How strong does an event have to be? How impactful, how real does an event have to be to say, listen, I saw what I saw and I will tell you what I saw no matter what that means for me. So the death, burial, and resurrection are the reason we are Christians. That's when Christianity started. That's literally the jump start. That's literally the start of Christianity. Jesus showed himself to 500 people. 500 people, y'all. And back then there wasn't that many people on earth. 500 people is a lot of people. And then number 10 is really the simplest one I can say. It's simply that I know him for myself, that I've seen him for myself, that I've experienced his undeniable presence for myself. I've talked to him. He talks to me. And he's just a simple form of peace. You know, when you enter his presence, it's just peaceful. Number 10 is the most impactful for me because it's my own experience. I know him for myself. I've seen him work in my life. I've seen him rescue me from myself. And that's why I'm a Christian. I've met God. I've talked to him and I know him. That's how I know God is real. That's me and millions of other people who have walked with him and talked with him and know him as their friend. And so that's how I know Jesus is real. And that's how I know Jesus is the Son of God, and that he is who he says he is. So after everything that we've talked about in this video and every point and every fact and all the history and the mathematics and everything else, there is still a choice that you may have to make. If you're not a Christian and you're watching this video, there is still a choice that you may have to make. And at some point, you have to rely on faith. You're never going to know it all, ever. You will never have all knowledge as a human being. And so to say all that is to say your faith will have to kick in. You're never going to know all the details of why God allowed certain things, why God didn't stop certain things, why God did this or why God did that, or why this is that, why that is that. There's a lot of answers out there. However, there has to be a point where you're like, okay, God, I hear you and I get it and I believe in you and I believe that Jesus Christ is the only way to get to you. And I also believe that I have a direct communication with you through Jesus Christ. So again, like I said in the beginning, none of this is really to convince you of anything. It's more so to provide you with my experience and my story and my testimony of why I believe. And so down below in the comments, let me know why you believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God and why you are a Christian and why you go so hard for it. All right, let me know down below. I've personally seen God transform people who I never thought would I don't know, including myself. Okay, I was lost, y'all. I was struggling. I was angry. It was just a lot going on, but I've seen God transform me and what he's done for me in my life and flip that stuff around, and that alone is enough. But I've seen him transform my friends. I've seen him transform some of you all. At the end of the day, like I said before, I'm not here to convince you. I'm simply here to ask you to pray about it. If you are wondering, okay, God, I think this video was for me, you don't have to wonder anymore because it was. But it is your sign, and I'm telling you right now that Jesus Christ is the Son of God without a doubt, and he wants you. He loves you with this love that nobody can understand, that nobody can comprehend. It's this unfailing, unchanging love that he has for you. And so I'm just telling you right now that God loves you and that he wants you. But guys, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, let me know down below in the comments. If you guys want to see more videos like this, or you want me to break down any of those 10 points that I had, let me know. I can do that for you guys as well. Just let me know down below in the comments as well. If you have any questions, if you're wondering how you yourself can become a Christian and become a part of this family, Christianity is inclusive. The Bible says whoever shall believe in him will have everlasting life. Whoever doesn't exclude anybody, so including you. If you were the only person on earth, God would have done it, and Jesus would have done it for you alone. He would have died for you alone for you to have that access. So he loves you as a person. But if you have any questions and you guys want me to answer any other things that I can and I have the ability to, let me know down below in the comments. Message me on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram and in these comments are the best places to reach me. Facebook is kind of like I'm not that great at checking Facebook messages, so but you know, a weakness. But yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Let me know down below in the comments, and let's get a conversation started in the comments. Just know it is a safe place down below there in the comments for you. I block all negativity in the comments so that you guys will have a safe space, but then also YouTube does a great job at blocking them for me. So if there's any spam, it's like, oh, spam alert or whatever, and it tells me I can just delete it. But I want you guys to know this is a safe place down below. I just ask that you be extremely positive and extremely uplifting everybody there. You can speak truth, but speak it in love and grace down there. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and spending your time with me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you guys have not subscribed, be sure you do so. And then also I will link the sermon series and stuff down below in the description box for you that I've gotten all the references and stuff like that from for this video. So anyway, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.